You have to do your rehab after your ankle sprain because of 3 reasons. We're going to go over those 3 reasons in this video. My name is Dr. Marco Lopez, Doctor of Physical Therapy and Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, and co-founder of the Basketball Doctors. In this video, we're going to go over 3 reasons why you need to be doing your rehab after an ankle sprain. Normally, an ankle sprain, a lot of people just ice it and just play through it or put an ankle brace. But we're going to go over why you have to be doing your rehab. No matter if it's a minor sprain or even if it's a big sprain, you have to be doing your rehab. And we're going to go over to reason number 1. Reason number 1 is that you increase your risk for future ankle sprains if you don't do your rehab. So the studies have shown that if you sprained your ankle once, you're 4.9 times more likely to sprain your ankle again. And the reason because of that is because they've shown that around 60% of people don't seek out rehab once they sprain their ankle. So if you sprain your ankle, even though you think it's minor, it might swell up, you might lose mobility, you might lose strength and stability, so that then increases your risk for an ankle sprain. So that's why I tell people, once you sprain your ankle, you gotta make sure you're 100% ready before you start playing basketball again, because that ankle is still not ready. Normally, with an ankle sprain, it takes anywhere between sometimes 3 days to 6 months, depending on the severity of that sprain, because a sprain is partial tearing of that ligament, and we want to make sure we have that stability of that ankle before we go back to playing basketball. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is you're going to increase your risk for another lower extremity injury. What does that mean? So whenever you sprain your ankle, like I mentioned before, you lose mobility, specifically dorsiflexion, so the ability for your ankle to move forward. So if you lose your ability for your ankle to move forward, the next joint that's going to take the stress is going to be the knee. And we've seen it countless times where people have torn their ACLs and we ask them, have you had a previous injury? And they're like, yeah, you know what? I might have sprained my ankle 3 weeks ago. So all these little minor injuries then lead up and catch up to you. An ankle sprain is a huge minor injury. It's sometimes I think one of the worst injuries that you can have, because it gets left untreated. Then you start having other issues down the line. So a knee injury is number 1. An ACL injury is number 1. Number 2 is the jumper's knee injury. A lot of people that we see that are dealing with jumper's knee have dorsiflexion range of motion deficits, meaning they can't bend their ankle forward because of a previous ankle sprain. Another injury is more of a joint injury because the ankle can't bend forward, can't accept the load too much because the calf is not strong enough, because that's another thing that happens is when you sprain your ankle, the calf gets weaker and people don't really strengthen their calf muscle. So whenever you land, jump, decelerate, the calf muscle plays a huge role. So if that muscle is not working properly, then the knee joint takes the stress. As I mentioned, guys, so you need to be working on that ankle sprain rehab to address those strength, mobility deficits, to avoid any injuries up the chain at the knee or at the hip. We see a lot of the knee injuries, but these are things that we can avoid by doing our rehab with our ankle sprain. Reason number 3, and one of the most important reasons why you need to be doing your rehab, is chronic ankle instability. This is something that people get a lot. And just think about all the people that have told you, hey, my ankles are weak, I always have to use an ankle brace, or I need to wear 2 double socks to give me compression. Those weak ankles are usually due to multiple ankle sprains. So I'm going to give you a scenario. So most of the time we see is basketball players sprain their ankle once, they try to ice it, and then they just put an ankle brace, or they just tape it and they sprain it again, and then again. They have these multiple ankle sprains. So whenever you sprain your ankle, like I mentioned before, you're tearing part of the ligament. It's a minor tear, but if you keep on tearing it, that ligament then gets fully torn, even though it's minor tears. So little minor tears then lead to a big tear. And that's when people have instability where their ankle just sprains constantly. And you've probably seen it once when you're playing basketball. Your ankle just tweaks out to the side, but you're able to bring it back and you're fine. But with people with chronic ankle instability or weak ankles, because of the lack of rehab, their ankle will go fully out to the side. And that's what leads to that instability. That's what happened to Steph Curry with that chronic ankle instability. So that's one of the big reasons why you have to start early and make sure you're on top of your rehab to ensure that you don't increase your risk for that chronic ankle instability. And when you have chronic ankle instability and the rehab that you're doing doesn't work because it's already too late, then you might require surgery to tighten up your ankle. So that's the final reason why you have to be doing ankle sprain rehab. So to summarize, why you have to do your ankle sprain rehab is 1, you want to decrease any future ankle sprains. 2, you want to decrease any future knee injuries. 3, you want to decrease your risk for chronic ankle instability. If you're having trouble with your ankle sprain rehab, or you recently sprained your ankle and you're unsure if you want to rehab or not, these are the 3 reasons why you have to, and we have a resource for you to go through to make sure you have the proper rehab, and that's our 12-week online rehab ankle sprain program. Check out our website, www.thebasketballdoctors.com. In our program section, we have this 12-week program that we as the basketball doctors created alongside with a foot and ankle orthopedic surgeon to have several checkpoints to ensure you're safely going back to basketball and decrease your risk for future injuries. It's a great rehab program. Check it out. If you have any other questions, just send us an email at admin@thebasketballdoctors.com. I hope you like this video. I hope you do your rehab after your ankle sprain. Hit the like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family.